Today's episode is Friendship and Boundaries in Love. What's acceptable and what's off limits?
It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. I mean, you have to figure out what's allowed, what feels threatening. How do your pasts and cultures and wounds play into all of that?
I don't know. Thanks for joining us.
Please write in and answer those questions.
Well, I guess we have to start at the beginning when it comes to those things. When a partner says they're just a friend,
They're just a friend. It's just a friend. It's just a friend.
just a friend. I mean, I guess it also a little depends on when they're telling you it's just a friend. Is this month two of a relationship or is it
Mhm.
4 years into a marriage?
Oh, 4 years into a marriage and you're just learning about a new friend.
That's what I'm saying now.
Well, not all friendships are threatening. Let's say you're a straight couple and your male partner is making friends with a dude. I guess that could also be threatening. Doesn't have to only be romantic for a friendship to be threatening, right?
Of course not. There's a lot of sort of same sex friendships that help tank relationships. Lots of bro code and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, things like that could get in the way. Oh, you're going to do that against your friendship. Sometimes both sides get a little testy and it comes down to, well, who are you going to choose?
Yeah,
Your new wife or your new girlfriend or your bro for the last 10 years?
yeah, yeah,
You're going out with your three single friends and you're the only one in the relationship. Is that cause for worry?
yeah.
There's just so many different areas to get into. Where do we start?
Well, sometimes you don't even know where to start. Sometimes
No,
you feel these twinges and it's just your body. Your body's telling you something. Your stomach's turning. You get butterflies or um
that sixth
you ever
sense kicks in.
yeah, you get nauseous or your nerves, like before a test or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different communities can be different reactions to it. Whether you're a guy or a girl could have different reactions to it. There's just a ton of different factors to look at it. But I think it all comes down to the same things.
Well, it does, but it's not to say negative things about friendship because friendships are needed in life.
Definitely. You may have that one special person, but why put all the pressure on them to be your everything? Like, I
Hmm.
don't look to you to talk about Giants football.
Yeah, because it's not happening.
Yeah. I'm not going to get who should be the quarterback of the team from you. And for me to force you to watch football is not fair to you.
Yeah.
So, different areas, different friends pick up the slack.
Yeah. And friendships, they make a person feel seen.
Yeah.
Different parts of who you are, and that can make someone feel like it's risky. Your partner could feel like it's risky depending on what is causing them to feel threatened or unsafe, right? It's about finding a way to bring security and have your partner and you feel safe mutually, where you both are clear about what those lines are, and to remember that it's about respecting your partner. So your partner might just want to be respected. Their goal is not to control you.
Yeah. Translation of all that is get on the same page.
Hmm.
And that brings forth the question, when do we get on the same page? Does a woman just getting to that, oh, this is a serious relationship we're getting into now, do they lay down all the parameters for how the relationship is going to be in the future, or do they hold on to some?
So you mean when you're first dating versus to when you're married? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or even 4 years into marriage or something like that. Now they move in, and now you're like, well, you used to play games because I was in my house and you were in yours. But now that we're together, you have to spend time with me.
Mm,
You can't play games with your friends online. Some of these online games take forever. So,
yeah, it's different. It's definitely different playing games now today than it was like when we
yeah,
met.
it's not 3 lives and the game's over.
But even then when you weren't online playing with someone, something was taking your attention. So some people can get jealous of that too, or it's not a friendship, but anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, it all depends on the person. I think people may think, well, we're only dating. I only have the right to make these requests or these demands. Or, well, now we're sharing a roof and we're sharing bills. So now I have more of a right because we're sharing household stuff. Or, well, I am your baby mama now. I deserve a different kind of respect.
Hmm.
So, and then of course, being married, you're like, you put the ring on my finger now. I deserve all the respect, all of my demands to be met.
So let's just, how about we do this? I'll give you an example.
Mm,
We'll keep it generic. Okay.
okay.
Give me a Filipino female name.
Nicole.
Nicole. Fine. Then I choose Carlos.
Okay. Okay.
Carlito.
Carlito. Mm-hmm.
So Carlos has a longtime female coworker,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even confidant. It's just not, it's more than just a female friend. It's the female friend. Okay.
Okay.
And you just say Nicole. Nicole.
Nicole. Mm-hmm.
Nicole feels, you know, just, it just kind of bothers me. It makes me feel uneasy,
Mm,
but can't really put her finger on it.
mm.
How would one approach that?
Well, one, Nicole needs to sit with herself, see if she can find out why. What is she feeling? So she's rooting in herself. What do I feel when this person's name comes up? What
Hmm.
what is it, right? Because if she has to root in herself, ground herself, it's a very physical thing when you're rooting yourself. You're saying to your body, I'm safe. I'm okay. Because her nervous system is reacting as to why she's having physical response, right?
Hmm.
And then so once she can do that, then she has to share.
Yeah.
She shouldn't hold it in.
Well, I can guess how Carlos is going to respond.
Can you now? Tell me more about Carlos.
Come on, Carlos.
Who's Carlos? I mean, I'm going to guess he's Latin with the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want the full details? Carlos is
A little bit.
5'10", like 150. He's got the little,
Goatee?
yeah, the little tiny one that
Mm-hmm.
looks like, hey, these are the only 20 hairs I can grow. A's gonna say she's been a friend. She's always just been a friend.
Mm.
I was single when I knew her. Nothing ever
That's
happened.
that's my
Why?
that's my homie.
Why? Yeah, that's my homie. Like, why are you tripping?
Yeah. I don't know, Carlos. I just feel uneasy. I don't understand why. But this is how I feel. I need you to make me feel better, Carlos.
Why does Nicole sound Hispanic now?
I'm sorry. That's Nicole from New York. She's Filipino, but she's from New York. They have to start a conversation of boundaries. So,
Yeah.
yes, she's your homie from back in the day from a perspective where a person feels safe in a relationship. You don't want to ruin that friendship, right?
Yeah.
You just want to stop feeling the way you're feeling.
I would say to dive deeper into Carlos, what is your relationship with her? Like, is she the one who you say, oh man, you should see what Nicole did today? I can't take it. She's stressing me out. Like,
Man.
mm,
Oh, so you're talking about those kinds of boundaries.
could be
Could be.
because just having someone you're really cool with at work could be something completely different than being like, hey, let me tell you personal problems that I'm only going to trust with two or three people, and that's it. It may be Carlos's dad, his homeboy Chacho, and what's this girl's name? Jeannie. Mm. That to me, I'd say that'd be crossing.
So that's crossing for you,
Yeah,
right? That could look completely different for someone else. Someone else might be like, that's cool. That doesn't bother me. I want you to have support. I want you to have somebody to talk to outside of us. Because there's so many different viewpoints.
yeah,
And the point is that you have to have the conversation.
absolutely. And like we always say, that different relationships have non-traditional rules, and as long as it works for both of you, then that's your rule. Like, it doesn't matter what other people do or say. It just is what it is.
Hmm. Well, how does culture play into that? When you talk about boundaries and how it affects you, do you have any that you can share from your background being Puerto Rican?
Well, I
Um,
think typical Caribbean or even Latin background people are very sharing, very open, and that's the only way they know how to be.
what do you mean by that?
You grow up sharing everything with your entire family,
Sharing what? Food?
everything, food, stories. There's a lot of people I knew growing up that some of their best friends were just cousins, you know,
Hmm.
and
I know that because I mean, I grew up with Puerto Ricans around all the time. So I saw that my cousin
yeah,
so and so is staying over. They come to the rescue. They do all sorts of stuff because they're just tight.
yeah. And nowadays, with everybody calling each other cousin no matter what, so
Hmm.
brother, you just feel comfortable with everything. So you're willing to share more than the average person. You're willing to go that extra little bit because it's just acceptable. Does
Mm.
that make sense? I don't know how else to describe it.
Okay. Do you entrust your family with your relationship? Like details?
You can. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
People have to be careful with that because what are you telling and what are you holding back? Because that leads to bias situations. You know what I mean? So
Example.
let's say you go to somebody and only tell your problems of we're having problems with this and that
So
and
you're going to who with what problems?
whoever, family,
You're going to like your tia or your tío or whatever.
cousins, go to them with the problems of your relationship, but they don't
Hmm.
fully see the positives of the relationship. Not that you don't mention them, but it seems that if you speak to someone six times and four times you're complaining about your partner, what does that tell the person you're talking to? it
Yeah,
it
it's
tells
mostly
them,
bad.
hey, yeah, this is a bad relationship,
Mhm.
when they may just be your outlet.
Right, right.
How about Filipinos?
Well, with Filipinos, I mean, we're all about preserving harmony. Everyone must get along. That person did you wrong. Sweep it under the rug. It's done. Don't talk about it. Let's not talk about it because talking about it makes it worse. So it's about swallowing your discomfort for the comfort of others.
Yeah.
So you're keeping the peace. And we call that um, pakikasama. Pakikasama.
Wow.
And so I grew up like in that. That's what I know. I had my own things that happened and pretty much was told it's enough. It's enough.
Shut up.
Well, Filipinos are very hospitable, so it wasn't really like that to me, um but yeah, it's something that you learn. It's cultural, and I mean almost almost could be beautiful at the same time as can be dark. Like with anything, right?
No.
You could be forgiving to a fault. And so it's the same thing. What you were talking about, though, with Caribbean and Latino cultures, there's a Latinx therapist. Her name is Adriana Alejandre, and she writes about how sharing anything and everything is a part of that Latinx culture, but that it can break trust
Yeah.
and blur those identities.
Well, yeah. I mean, even in that example I gave, now that person thinks it's a bad relationship. So now every time you bring your partner around, what's that cousin or the doing?
Yeah, that's right.
Look at her. She's all that. Like it's over already.
Yeah.
They've already formulated their
For
conclusion forever. Like,
forever
yeah.
opinion. Yeah.
So, I mean, how many of those times now do you get married and it's just
Yeah. I
so like,
know.
oh, he shouldn't have married her. Let me tell you why. And now you're out in the street.
That's why your communication with anyone outside of your relationship about your relationship, you have to be very particular.
Yeah. What people don't realize is most of your problems from friendships and stuff like that come from your own insecurities.
I think a lot of these issues when it comes to friendships, when you're in long-term relationships or in relationships, period, it's very psychological. Someone who grew up having a very secure attachment, they had great relationship with their parents, they felt heard and seen, and their feelings were not neglected. Those people are secure. So they feel like they can trust and they talk openly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've met people like that. Uh, I happen to think I'm a secure person now, but I did not start off as a secure.
No. No.
Thank you, dear. Let's go to what you are then. No.
Uh,
Um, I think you probably had an avoidant attachment.
yeah, for sure.
Um, you know, go ahead. You do you want to talk about avoidant
Um,
attachment?
just kind of dismissive, kind
Mm,
of not wanting to further the conversation. It's just, you're wrong and you need to fix yourself, and I'm done with
mm,
this conversation.
yeah,
Time to move on.
yeah. Somewhere in your history, maybe growing up, I'm not sure. I know you're on your journey to figure things out, but you've had to have felt emotionally neglected. and it connects to where you shut down because that's what's easier,
Yeah.
right? It's like, okay, this is too much for me right now. You might say something like, "You're overreacting. You're too sensitive." It's not what I meant. That's downplaying someone's feelings and their discomfort, not because you don't think they're important, but they make you feel unsafe.
Yeah. You're basically being defensive
Mm-hmm.
to some degree,
You're trying to
and
protect yourself.
right, you're protecting
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You're trying to keep the emotions out of it.
Mm-hmm. For someone who has that avoidant attachment, and friendships are important universally, but they're important for someone who has that avoidant attachment because in friendships, it requires less of emotional dependence on the person as opposed to your romantic partner. It's secure in that sense. You feel safer there. Now, I happen to think that I'm a different kind. I don't think I'm avoidant.
Um, no, no, you're definitely not.
What do you think I am?
Let's see. There's the anxious attachment sort
Ding
of
ding 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 ding. Yeah.
where you just everything is like DEFCON 1 and you're just like incoming missiles. And I'm like, that's just the old lady next door. I was helping her with her groceries. And they're like, that old bee needs to check herself.
I don't think I'm going to go into that old lady. I'm okay. People are wondering, like, what the hell are they laughing about?
There's too many inside jokes to
Okay,
even.
I'm going to share. So it's going to be just a few seconds. I'm going to share that Steve has, I don't know, I think he has a thing for older women. I am not making this up, and this is not my anxious attachment acting out. You just do. And I think that's why you like my white hair now.
Bring your walkers. Your little, what do you call those? The little scooters or whatever?
Oh, you like those?
Those little freewheelers can do tricks.
They're pricey.
They are, well, with um, Medicaid and A
Medicare.
AARP, you can get discounted ones,
You're too fun. Anyway, that's why we were laughing. So, but yeah, no, I do have that anxious attachment. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I will hyper read, or I used to. I don't do that anymore. But man, I sure did hyper read. But that's what a anxious attachment does. They'll hyper read their partner's friendships, or even their friends' friendships, for that matter,
Yeah.
for anything that's threatening. Right?
And not only that, everything is threatening a
Yeah,
lot, a lot.
a lot is.
I mean, you can ask that person, "Hey, do you really think they're gonna hook up with this person?" And they'll be like, "No, look at them." So then, what are you upset about? And I don't know. I'm
Because
just
it's not about the person, right? It's not
no,
about the friendship. It's about the person who feels threatened. They're afraid of being abandoned. And I know that for myself, I know that that was my big thing because I've always been abandoned. So when you've been abandoned from whatever your background story is, especially in any kind of romantic relationship, that's what you fear.
no.
You fear that.
So all this to say,
Hmm.
this is why you look at yourself when it comes to these relationships. And like I said, if you're fully comfortable with it and your partner's fully comfortable and you guys are on the same page, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
But
fine.
yeah, but these situations with friendships, it just triggers these attachment wounds, right? And
Yeah.
so some people might say about the person who is jealous or feels threatened or whatever the case may be, like, man, they acting crazy. She is so loca, whatever. But she's not. The partner is just dysregulated, right? So your body can't tell the difference between an emotional threat or a physical threat. And when you,
By that.
so when you feel unsafe, because that's what it's about, something about this situation feels unsafe. Your body knows it before your mind knows it. But so it triggers, it activates this part of your brain that's wired for threat. And that part of the brain is called the amygdala. Okay.
Sounds very ugly.
I know it sounds
Sounds
like
like a
an
blob.
alien.
Like I just want to throw it on the table and play with it.
But you know, the amygdala plays a very special role in your body. Yeah, when you're truly under threat, you need that amygdala to kick in gear, right? So it knows what to do so that it can protect you, right? But when your body is perceiving the friendship as a threat, it just gets activated. And that's because they're dysregulated due to whatever their history is, whether
Right.
it's an attachment theory, whether it's an experience they had in past relationships. Their nervous system is just screaming, I unsafe. We are unsafe right now, and we need to do something about it. You got to heal that.
So it sounds almost like a fight or flight kind of deal. Like
Hmm.
that's the response you would get.
Yeah, your body is just like immediate.
Okay.
Your heart might start racing. You have to sit down and say, what am I feeling when this happens? You have to acknowledge that too about your partner. If you're the partner who's feeling like rules are trying to be set on you, or your partner's trying to control your friendships, whether you can have them or not, or cherry picking your friendships, you have to have the ability to pause and consider,
Yeah.
you know? So you're not fixing anything, you're not defending anything, you're just pausing.
And how long you pause is up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no like 5 seconds. No.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those other tools we talked about. You pause and you come back.
Yeah.
You pause and you come back.
Yeah.
That could
Because
be sitting here next to each other, pausing, and then for a minute, a few minutes. It could be hours. I mean, who knows? You could
yeah.
separate.
Think of it as the time you were really mad, like versus the time you weren't super mad, but one takes a lot longer to cool down, so to speak, than the
Hmm.
other one would. So, could be the case here.
Yeah.
So, what else? Transparency.
Yes. It's really important to be open and honest when you're having these discussions.
Right.
You see, you name what's happening.
Right.
I feel like you're leaving me even though you're right here. So you're being vulnerable. It's not easy to say that sentence. Some people
Yeah.
have never said something like that and admitted it.
And that's a setup to your partner. Just saying, oh, you're being silly, isn't the response they're looking for. It's not what's going to make them feel safe being vulnerable to you, expressing how you feel to them at that moment. Here's why I'm not leaving you,
Mm.
because I love this about you and I love how you make me feel, and no one else makes me feel like that in my life. And that not only makes the person feel good, it reassures them, it makes them,
Feel safe.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
It makes them feel safe and heard.
Yeah. And now that person will feel comfortable coming to you next time.
Right. So you're laying a foundation.
Yeah. Because if you just respond, oh, you're being stupid, why would I leave you or whatever? What you're telling that person is, I don't care about your feelings and don't bring them to me anymore.
All right, that's the subliminal message that you
Right.
probably weren't meaning to send,
But
right?
that's most likely how they're going to take it.
Right. And it's a challenge, right? When you have two different attachment theories coming together. So here's you and I,
What?
anxious and avoidant. If you choose the wrong way to respond, then you're not creating a foundation. You're actually like creating a very unstable foundation. And then it just becomes more difficult. Then you're faced with other challenges. So it is not easy. It almost sounds like we're making it sound like it's easy. It is definitely not.
But it
But
can be done.
it can be done, and we are proof that it can be done.
Absolutely.
Took us a while.
It did. We
It
didn't
took.
have an awesome podcast like this to watch. And
Well, like we did. Yeah, we didn't, and it was just fail, try again, get up, fail, try again, get up. You know, um, I think the important thing there for ours was is we chose to keep trying again.
no,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, the things we're talking about and advising everybody listening to try is because I mean we didn't get it from a book or anything like that. It's what worked for us,
Mm-hmm.
and Lord knows we tried all kinds of different
We
things.
did.
And but um,
We did.
what else?
Being honest, giving a reassurance, right?
Yeah.
From both sides. And then you want to do things like help co regulate that nervous system.
What's that?
So your amygdala gets triggered, right? So you want to co regulate with physical. So that's grounding together. Have your feet flat on the ground. And together as a couple, you take 3 in sync breaths together, right? So almost like you and your child when you're trying to co regulate your child's nervous system
Mm-hmm.
by holding them close, by breathing with them. They feel your heartbeat. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You can touch, the power of touch, and not in a sexual way, just skin, skin to skin.
Forehead to forehead.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. So and then we talked about breath. It could be the tone of your voice, because that is physical too. The person speaking
Mm-hmm.
and the person who's listening. Imagine if your partner was used to being yelled at all the time or harsh tones. Just think about when you speak to a child. The tone of your voice makes a huge difference in
Yeah.
regulating their nervous system.
Or your dog.
Yeah, your
A
dog.
dog's an easy way to say it, you know?
Yeah.
You can curse them out, talking all relaxed, and they get all excited. Like, yes, daddy called me an asshole. It's awesome.
They don't understand the words, but for humans, it's words with tone. It makes a difference. And staying calm instead of defending.
Yeah.
All of that is part of healing and creating a secure attachment through repeated, okay, guys, repeated. Let me say that again. Repeated,
What'd you say?
repeated
Oh,
safety cues. This is not a one time shot thing.
yeah.
So you got to be in it for the long haul. It's going to take work. It's going to take work. let's do another example of a couple and what they could be, facing.
Okay.
Let's see. Our composite couple could be Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah, he's like a Caribbean brother from, I don't know, Cuba. Pick a Caribbean country.
Marcus.
Marcos.
Okay.
And then Lani. Yeah, Lani.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
just
buy that.
little Pacific Islander chick.
All right. So what's up with Marcus and Lani?
Let's see. Marcus feels that men don't need to have female friends. They just don't need
Okay. A lot of ladies on board now
it.
with Marcus.
Okay. And Lonnie says that she sees male friends like a life support. They're a safe space for her,
Hmm.
you
Boy.
know?
Uh-oh, Lonnie. I see a cloud in your feet. Because
Mhm.
with Marcus saying that a married man doesn't need female friends, I'm sure he's kind of demanding Lonnie follow his lead and not have opposite sex
Yeah,
friends. So,
I would imagine so. I don't think Marcus is saying men that are married don't need female friends, but women who are married, that's okay. They can have all the male friends that they want. I don't think that's the case.
no, Marcus is locking it down for sure.
But I don't think he's saying that. I don't think he's lying that he feels like married men don't need female friends. I think
Well,
he truly feels that way.
like I said, it all depends on if it works. So, with this particular couple, they're on opposite ends.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we begin?
Well, I mean, there's some kind of cultural programming or like a unmet emotional need of some sort,
Yeah,
right?
I think we need to break each side down. With Marcus, you don't need female friends. Okay, why? Why?
Mm.
What led you to believe that that's the only way to operate?
Maybe. Well, go ahead. Do you have a theory?
Um, I would say I definitely know a lot of Marcus's, and I think there's been I don't want to say a cheating background because it doesn't necessarily have to be Marcus that was cheated on. It could be a close family member that he growing up saw
Mhm.
that
He
was
witnessed that.
right. And he witnessed, and they're like, oh, see, they were just friends. And
Mm.
now they're both in the office doing stuff. Either way, it programmed him to, with just a generalization of, oh, opposite sex friends, no good. Cut it
Yeah.
off.
So because he's trying to protect his life with his partner. So to eliminate that possibility, that risk.
So he doesn't end up like his uncle. Oh,
And that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for her, I mean, what do you think?
She probably feels like she has a safe space with men, but feeling like there's danger in this situation with her partner because she's disappointing him somehow, right? So she feels like she has to keep the peace. So she might be over explaining, apologizing for things that she didn't do anything wrong, but
Mm,
she's trying to keep the peace. So in this situation, cultural, unmet emotional needs, things that you witness, has an impact. Marcus needs to root. It's always the first step is just rooting. Like, why am I feeling this way?
yeah.
Why do I feel unsafe? What does it look like me protecting what I have without control, without me trying to control everything. That safety does not have to be protected with power.
How about this other theory? Women tend to stick guys in the friend zone who don't want to be in the friend zone. Let's just put it that way. And usually women are last to know that. Women who think they have a nice, solid friendship with a
Mm.
guy, and the guy just thinks, hey, I'm getting closer to her. Awesome. And just thinks it's some sort of long game flirt or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say maybe Marcus is worried about that.
Could be.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened to his uncle,
Yeah.
or his interpretation of
So
that.
then the question always goes back to, does Lonnie know that?
I don't know. Like I
Right.
said, that's something for them to sit and work out.
Yes. And that's what I'm trying to come back to, is that
Or has it ever happened to Lonnie?
mm, I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe
Mm.
once it happens, that'll she'll be like, okay, now I get it.
Right. But she also has to be honest with herself about her own issues. Right. She has to sit down and root with herself and say, it's okay to be honest with how I feel about having this friendship, even if the person doesn't want to hear it. You don't
Yeah.
just be agreeable to keep the peace. And then she has to ask herself, too, when did she first learn that being quiet kept her safe? Because that's the lesson she's learned. When?
Yeah.
Finding the root causes of these insecurities. It could be cultural, it could be past betrayals or secrecy, like you said.
Hmm. Yeah. Because what you observe growing up,
Mm.
um, children do have lots of things that happen that, for lack of a better word, scar them. And it helps mold what kind of adult they're going to be just by something they saw.
Right, right. Yeah. Sometimes, whatever culture you're in, you're trying to protect your reputation
Yeah.
and the fidelity.
Yeah. How many Latin men are even on shorter leashes because, Latin men, they're always cheating. They always get every woman.
S- Listen, first of all, you can
Uh
get
oh.
whatever woman you want. But I'm saying is that it is a stereotype.
Yeah,
It
for
is a
sure.
stereotype.
So
Yeah.
I think Latin men have shorter leashes, especially by Latin women.
Mm,
Incredibly short leashes.
well, I don't think I have a short leash on you. Dot, 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 anymore. But you're definitely an example of the stereotype doesn't fit.
Yeah. In the
Um,
end, everybody's their own person. And certain
exactly.
things may help or be more of a factor. I hear all the time that, oh, we grew up in the hood, that's why our ceiling is only down here, and not everybody in the hood thinks that way. So,
No, you can always change your mindset.
yeah.
You have the freedom in any situation to be who you want to be, become who you want to be.
Hmm.
You can also have a cause of insecurity be this inner feeling of scarcity or feeling like you're less than. So you feel,
What do you mean by that?
if you feel less than someone else or you are lacking, you're going to be very guarded about what belongs to you. I have this relationship. He loves me or she loves me. Do you know how long it took me to find someone to love me?
No.
Because nobody's ever loved me before or loved me right, or whatever the sentence is, right? And so that could be a reason why there's insecurity.
Yeah. And then that's the why buy the diamond necklace if you're just going to keep it in the safe.
Mm, such a good analogy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about, like attachment theories and stuff. How do we get through that? How do we set healthy boundaries and agreements in place once we identify everything?
Well, you're talking, you're communicating, you start asking each other, you discuss what you both need to feel emotionally, spiritually, culturally safe while staying connected, right?
Mm,
And you have to remember that you'll come to these connection agreements, we like to call connection agreements. They're not a list of don'ts or
right.
rules, it's just a shared map for how you're going to love each other consciously.
It's a plan.
Yeah, it's a
Plan
plan.
how we're going to stay together on this, how we're going to stay on the same page. The mind is a crazy thing. And just because you think one way now, you may not think the same way in the morning,
Right?
you
That's
know?
very true.
So, how do we get back on that same page?
Exactly. So if you discuss it and you come up with your own unique personal connection agreement with your partner, you are moving in the right step.
Yeah.
Right step. Move stepping forward in the right direction. Ooh, okay. I got that out right.
There's a step and another step.
Now you have a really cool tool that I like that when we talked about.
So, let's say, for example, you are trying to get on the same page, right? You've got one partner who's really upset, and you can't tell them, hey, calm down. We got to be on the same page because that's not going to work.
Sometimes that makes the other person angry
Yeah.
in the moment.
Like, don't tell me to shut up. You shut up, even though it makes no sense.
I
But
have the right to feel what I want to feel.
yeah,
Yeah.
what accents?
I have no idea. The accent of I'm hurt right now. I can feel what I want to feel.
All right. So, my proposal is you say a code phrase because you would say a phrase, make it something extremely odd where the person can only take it one way and knowing that you're giving him a code. So if
Well,
you,
so is this a code that you agree ahead of time?
yes,
Okay.
this is a code, you guys, when we're in that phase of figuring out how to get on the same page, we put the code phrase in. It would basically go something like this: the sheep grazes early in the morning, and the other person's upset and yelling, and they're like, what the hell is this person talking about? It's obvious what they're talking about. And now you have to respond
So with a
with
set
a
phrase.
similar ridiculous phrase of that's he needs his umbrella, that's why.
So it's like an acknowledgement.
And
Yeah.
if you rehearse it enough, it will put you back into now you've completely disconnected from the argument you were having and you're back kind of in an empty space. And now it's time to have that conversation and build everything back up together.
Hmm. Yeah. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I think that can be a very helpful tool for people.
Test it out. I mean, everybody's different. Every situation is different. I would recommend going back and forth at least twice. It really locks the person in with, okay, I know what I have to say next. And if they don't say it and they're still upset, you just keep repeating your phrase until they respond. Think of it like CIA kind of
Mm-hmm.
password. I'm not going to give you access unless you give me the right password.
What was that movie that we just saw
No.
with Leonardo DiCaprio? And he couldn't figure out what the damn pass. code phrase was over the phone?
Yes.
What was the name of that movie? I
Uh,
just watched it with Nina.
something. uh, It's gonna kill me now. I don't know. It
It
was
was all right.
yeah,
It was all right.
all
Don't
bad.
don't spend your money. Wait till it comes out on HBO. Okay.
I don't
I love that code phrase. I think that it's you just remember what it is though. So yes. Don't be like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Well, even in the movie, it was 10 to 15 years. If you can make it 10 to 15 years without needing it,
Yeah. You're it's working.
right in
Whatever you're doing is working.
please, yeah, tell us what you're doing.
I love that tool. Thank you for sharing that. You can also create your healthy boundaries by setting those terms of your transparency, the context, for example, like when you're going to check in.
Yeah.
You have to interpret this as not control over you. These are not rules. These are things that you agree on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You agree together.
Yeah. Like even that conversation is part of the rules. Like I have to schedule it. Don't spring it up on me. Okay, let's talk about how to stay. Tell me. I don't want to be mid movie when you decide we're going to talk about this. I want to know it's coming. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can also make sure that you discuss and acknowledge that the boundaries that you do set are not made of stone. They're not a cement wall that stays there forever.
Yeah, they're not the 10 commandments. As your relationship moves forward, it's growing.
Mm.
Therefore, your boundaries and your other non rules
Yeah.
will potentially grow
Your terms.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you've decided on, you may grow out of some. Some may really lock in, some may need a little tweaking, but they grow with you. Always be ready to reevaluate and revisit them.
Yeah. And know that those boundaries are there to protect your love, right? For example, if you are now falling into more of a secure attachment, right, with each other,
Mm.
you could say things like, if I'd feel weird telling you about a potential situation,
Mm-hmm.
I have to consider that. And the term would be then I wouldn't do it. That boundary is now protecting our love. So it's not, I'm afraid to do it. It's that you just are trying to protect your love. Maybe one of your boundaries could be, I'm going to share with you when a particular person reaches out. Because sometimes if your partner feels unsafe about a particular friendship and your decision is, we're going to keep this friendship, but you're going to let me know when you do communicate with this friend. Sometimes, if you're not communicating with your partner that you had communication with this friend, it could almost come across as like you're hiding it.
Right. What's the reason for that? Sometimes the lies or the hidings, it's just extra stress in your life that you're adding.
Mm-hmm. But the person might not even be meaning to hide it,
Right.
but it seems that way or it appears that way. So the agreement to inform your partner about it helps your partner. Yeah. Your check-ins and about how are we feeling about this.
The check ins are also however often you want them,
Mm-hmm.
how often you feel you need them. Once a week, once a month. It's entirely up to you and your relationship. You know how much you're evolving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have a journal prompt for you. Okay.
Mhm.
When you have time, I know we don't do a lot of writing nowadays, it's always typing. When you're texting, and no one's writing letters really anymore. And if you are, you're probably emailing, right? But if you are able to get piece of paper and actually write it, it's a different feeling. So here's your journal prompt. Which friendship boundary feels unclear in us as a couple and why? Which friendship boundary feels unclear in us as a couple and why?
And a conversation prompt
Mm-hmm.
for couples. What makes you feel safe when I'm close to someone else? What's the reassuringness that I can give you when I'm close to someone else?
Mm, that's good. You're going to have some really deep conversations there if you open the door and let that in.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, sometimes that work trip or something like that is just inevitable. What can I do to make you feel safe while
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my 3 day business trip or whatever?
Yeah. And there will be discomfort,
Yeah.
but that's part of the road to the comfort and the peace. And something we'd like to suggest for you is take a look at Alejandra's essays on family and boundary in Latinx culture. And your boundaries are not fences, they are bridges to deeper trust. They are not negative things. It is all about how you approach it and how you see it. Change where you're standing so that your view of it changes.
You can keep your friendships alive and protect your love.
Yeah,
You can do both, guys.
you can, but it is personal. So, whatever decisions that you make, whatever your outcomes are, that's between you and your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And reinforcing your diwa, right? So, your inner self, the deepest part of who you are. When you know that part of yourself, then you can truly let others know that part of you too. And that's really where it starts,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully we've helped some people out today.
Yeah. Write into us and let us know how you feel about friendships in your long term relationship. We love reading your emails, so please send them right in.
Or just tell us a story.
Yeah. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Later, everyone.
Bye.